Do you remember a time where every kitchen in America had a set of Tupperware?
Give me your Tupperware freshness, that's our promise. Look at all the ways we keep it.
Come to a Tupperware party and see all the new ways you can lock in freshness.
Beans, greens, cheese, teas, potato, tomato, salami, pastrami. Tupperware freshness, that's our promise. Look at all the ways we keep it.
It was once the ultimate symbol of modern convenience and a staple in households everywhere. But have you ever wondered what happened to this plastic empire? In this video, I will take a deep dive into the rise and fall of Tupperware, one of the most iconic brands of the 20th century. From its beginnings as a revolutionary food storage solution to its peak as a cultural phenomenon, I will explore how Tupperware changed the way we cook, eat, and store our food. But we'll also examine the company's struggles in the face of changing consumer preferences, fierce competition, and questionable business decisions. Join me as I uncover the fascinating story of Tupperware and discover what led to the fall of the once mighty plastic empire. Tymo Hairdryer 2.0 is the next generation of hairdryer. And now let's look at the Tymo hairdryer versus the traditional old hairdryer. And because I have long hair, it's like really hard for me to actually blow dry my hair, because if I were to use a traditional hairdryer, it would probably take me 30 minutes or longer to dry it. And I honestly just don't have the patience for that. So I'm going to show you the different air speeds so you can see how fast and easy it is to blow dry my hair and how much volume it gives me versus the traditional hair dryer. And it also has an insane powerful air speed that can be used 3 ways, and you can see how quick it was for me to dry my hair from start to finish. Tymo hair dryer is the most powerful on the market with a 24 ms air speed, and it has a revolutionary performance and really stands up against high-end hair dryers. It also has a powerful air jet sound, and it means it's high in speed and more powerful. You can feel the wind pressure of the high-speed motor. It's also much quieter, and the size of the hair dryer is more compact. The hair dryer also has 3 attachments friendly to all hair types and styles desired. It has 4 precise temperatures, and it has 0 heat damage with the cool shot. It has also a built-in ionic system for healthy, shining results. And thank you, Tymo hairdryers, for sponsoring this post. And don't forget to click my link in below in the comment and description box. And now let's jump right back into the main video. Tupperware was the first brand to introduce innovative food storage solutions when it made its debut in the mid-1940s. However, despite being in business for nearly 77 years, Tupperware's future is now uncertain. In a recent disclosure, Tupperware revealed that it is facing a cash crunch and pressures from creditors, which has led to doubts about the company's ability to continue operating. This situation arose after errors in its financial statements prevented the timely filing of its annual report. And now let's talk about the history of Tupperware. During the 1950s, if you looked into a living room in a suburban area, you would have witnessed women wearing peculiar hats, playing party games, tossing around light plastic bowls, chatting about their lives, while passing around an order form for Tupperware. The Tupperware parties of the 1950s and 1960s were not just about socializing with friends and neighbors while ordering plastic containers. These events, often held during the day and accompanied by refreshments, were also opportunities for women to build and run their own businesses. Through the parties, women were exposed to innovative technology that helped keep food fresh for longer periods. And many seized the opportunity to start selling Tupperware from their homes. In doing so, they challenged traditional gender roles while also reinforcing them. During the 50s and 60s, Tupperware was exclusively sold through home parties. These parties were the sole way to purchase a line of polyethylene plastic storage containers that were invented by Earl Tupper, a businessman from Massachusetts. Tupper had developed a new form of plastic poly-tea, which was made from an industrial byproduct. However, when Tupperware was first introduced after World War II, it was not widely understood by consumers. It was not until a group of determined women acting as amateur salespeople began promoting the containers at home parties that Tupperware became popular in America. Initially, Tupperware containers were unlike any other plastic containers that women had in their kitchens. As a result, housewives were skeptical of a substance that they believed had bad odors and an oily feel and cheap quality. The airtight lids of the containers were its most distinctive characteristic, but they were also a drawback at first because they required burping before sealing, which confused customers. Many customers complained that the lids did not fit and returned the products to stores. And I think it'd be so weird if you think about it back in the 1940s. Like, this was the first time people saw plastic food storage containers, and I'm pretty sure Tupperware is the first company to do this. So that's really interesting. And Earl Tupper realized that he needed a fresh sales approach to overcome the initial skepticism towards Tupperware. He found inspiration in a new sales strategy used by Stanley Home, a cleaning products company. Stanley Home pioneered the home party concept, which involves salespeople visiting the homes of housewives and selling products to them in a friendly social setting, often in the presence of their friends.
Really locks it in.
You can see and buy Tupperware at a Tupperware party. A Tupperware dealer will tell you how you may qualify to earn this handsome Hamilton Beach adjustable electric knife and cutting board if you have a party in your home by December 30th.
Tupperware really locks it in.
We're in the phone book.
Brownie Wise, a saleswoman for Stanley Home, realized that the party model could be used to sell more than just cleaning products. She started her own business called Patio Parties and began selling household items, including Tupperware, using this method. Wise recruited her own sales force of local housewives and trained them to sell the new plastic products. Tupperware's original sales strategy involves selling its products through department stores or catalogs rather than directly to consumers. However, by the end of the 1940s, sales were slow, partly because Tupperware's unique features were not well understood, and Brownie Wise and other party organizers demonstrated that Tupperware could be sold successfully if its use was demonstrated correctly. Tupper, who was aware of the success of Stanley Home's direct-to-consumer model, hired Wise as his general sales manager in 1951. According to historian Allison J. Clark, it is unclear whether Tupper's decision to fully embrace the idea of using amateur business people and informal sales activities was a brilliant act of entrepreneurial vision or a result of his desperation. At first glance, Brownie Wise may have seemed like an unconventional choice to lead the sales force of a plastics company. She was divorced and struggling financially, having previously worked as an advice columnist before getting into Tupperware sales. However, Wise possessed a unique talent for demonstrating Tupperware products in a fun and engaging way. Her demonstrations were lively and involved throwing the plastic bowls around the room to demonstrate their durability. Wise also introduced party games that helped educate women about the product while having fun. As she trained more and more Tupperware salespeople, she created a network of enthusiastic women who were eager to connect with other women in their homes. And I'm so jealous. I want to go back in time to a vintage Tupperware party. I actually went to their website because after doing the research on this video, I was like, I want to try some Tupperware. And I realized they have a marvelous Maisel collection, and it's kind of a vintage inspired collection. And I think in the new season of Miss Maisel, I think she might actually go to a Tupperware party or host one. I haven't seen the new season yet, but based on the photos on their website, and that sounds kind of interesting. The post-war period saw significant socio and economic changes that helped the Tupperware home parties thrive. After World War II, families moved to new suburbs as husbands returned to their pre-war jobs, and many women who had joined the workforce during the war were encouraged to stay home and take care of their children. The post-war economic boom and a surge in birth rates also led to the growth of the suburbs, which were predominantly inhabited by middle-class white mothers, making them an ideal market for Tupperware parties. The Tupperware parties provided an opportunity for women to socialize with both old and new acquaintances, while also participating in a rapidly growing consumer culture. Although the parties were held in living rooms, they allowed women to take a break from the demanding domestic duties that were expected of them during that period. Moreover, for many women who were discouraged from working outside the home, the parties were an opportunity to earn money. According to Lorna Boyd, whose mother Sylvia was a Tupperware dealer in the 1960s, Tupperware allowed women to step out of their traditional roles as homemakers and into the workforce. By becoming Tupperware salespeople, women were able to earn money outside of the home and have something that was their own. Some salespeople were able to turn home parties into successful businesses and were rewarded with extravagant gifts such as diamond rings and designer clothing at the company's annual sales events. And this definitely reminds me of Avon back in the day. Tupperware parties were not limited to white suburban women, but also attracted Black and Hispanic women, single mothers, and divorcees. These groups of women played a less visible but significant role in the expansion of Tupperware. Despite being predominantly associated with white suburban women, Tupperware was able to penetrate markets that other companies underestimated or ignored. Brownie Wise was eventually forced out of Tupperware in 1958 due to a conflict with Earl Tupper. Despite her contribution to building the company, she did not receive any stock, and Tupper banned any mention of her from appearing in corporate literature. That seems pretty harsh. Eventually, Tupper sold the company to a drugstore chain called Rexall. Nevertheless, Tupperware and Tupperware parties continue to exist to this day, and I can vouch for that because I went on their website and there's a little click button that says host a party. So let me know in the comments below, did any of you guys ever go to a Tupperware party? Have you hosted a Tupperware party, or have you purchased Tupperware? I remember back in the day seeing Tupperware at thrift stores and never really paid attention to it, but now all of a sudden my ears are perking up thinking, well, if they're gonna go belly up, some of this vintage Tupperware might be worth something. I also don't necessarily want them to end up going bankrupt, just because I'm kind of a historian in many ways, and I get sad when companies that have been around for a long time kind of invented the whole idea of plastic containers. It just makes me sad thinking that, because I'm the person that likes to hold on to history, and I just hate to see something like that just close forever. According to specialists, Tupperware's decline can be attributed to various factors, including financial errors, the obsolete direct sales business model in the era of online commerce, and the emergence of affordable substitutes such as reusable containers from food delivery services. It's remarkable to consider that this brand once ignited a cultural craze with its renowned Tupperware parties, given the current grim state of affairs. And it is true, you can buy containers super cheap now, and I sometimes reuse my to-go containers from takeout, but Tupperware must be better quality than a lot of these things. There must be something to it, because I remember someone telling me once that Tupperware is way better quality. In addition, it is worth noting that the late Queen was a well-known admirer of Tupperware and utilized their products regularly. And Earl Tupper, hailing from New Hampshire, introduced his first collection of kitchen utensils made from the plastic in 1946. The country was still recovering from the Great Depression, and Tupper aimed to create a product that would address food wastage. He drew inspiration from the airtight lid of paint cans and developed the Wonder Bowl, which was made available to consumers the following year. In 1947, the Wonder Bowl was reviewed in House Beautiful and received glowing praise as fine art for 39 cents. Despite its innovative design, shoppers were initially hesitant to purchase the vacuum-sealed plastic container, and they required demonstrations on how to use it. I mean, I guess I can see if, go back to the late 1940s, you've never seen a plastic bowl. Like, I would be kind of mesmerized by this, and especially the burping technique. Customers were returning the airtight lids to the shops because they were so confused and thought the lids did not fit. Now I gotta try this burping thing and figure out why they didn't fit. To increase sales, Earl Tupper appointed Brownie Wise as his vice president of marketing, which I mentioned before. At the time, Brownie Wise was working at Stanley Home Products and had become one of the chain's managers in Michigan. However, she was told by the founder that management is no place for a woman. Despite positive press coverage, Tupperware was still struggling to sell products in stores. And Brownie's impressive sales record between 1949 and 1950 caught the attention of the company, and she was offered exclusive rights to sell Tupperware in Florida. From 1951 to 1958, Brownie led the sales team at Tupperware, and she's credited for driving the company's growth by becoming an attractive face of the brand aimed to other housewives. Brownie also made history as the first woman to appear on the cover of Business Week and gave presentations to editor at Vogue and Glamour. That's really cool. It seems mean, though, that they just kind of erased her from the company's history. And similar to Avon ladies, Tupperware also offered housewives the opportunity to become consultants and sell the products to local families in the 50s. As a vice president of marketing, Brownie wrote her own guide for recruits, which included the urgent musts of a successful Tupperware party. According to the New York Post, Brownie emphasized the importance of creating a relaxing atmosphere at the party, as the social spirit tends to lower sales resistance among attendees. She also wrote that it is a proven fact that you will sell more to a group of 15 women than you will sell to them individually. And during the 50s and 60s, Tupperware parties were the sole method for consumers to purchase the food storage containers. An advertising campaign for these parties in the 50s boasted that there's nothing quite like Tupperware for a refrigerator, freezer, cupboard, your table. And Tupperware's patented Tupper seal was the only one of its kind to keep stored food fresh for extended periods while still looking attractive on the table, according to advertisements. So that probably is what sets Tupperware apart, maybe from even other ones. The popular home party plan introduced millions of women to Tupperware's line of work-saving products each year, and hostesses who invited friends to their parties would receive complimentary products based on the amount sold at the event. And I feel like Tupperware might be an MLM. It's more of an older one, kind of like Avon. I don't think they really push you to have a downline. I don't know 100%, but it doesn't seem like some of the modern day MLMs. And according to Dr. Alison Clark in her book Tupperware, The Promise of Plastic in 1950s America, Tupperware had a belief in women supporting other women, creating a sense of sisterhood. At Tupperware parties, women were shown new products and innovative ways of using them, and after a 2-hour gathering, the attendees would place their orders. However, the popularity of Tupperware parties began to decrease as the number of housewives reduced drastically and more women entered the workforce. Eating out became more convenient than cooking at home, and people no longer required Tupperware for storing leftovers. I bet this is also in part to like the rise of like the TV dinner. I think a lot of people started doing the frozen food, so maybe they weren't cooking large amounts of food. And now let's talk about the global reach of Tupperware. According to Dr. Alison Clark, in 1961, the first Tupperware party took place in the UK, and within 4 years, the company had expanded to Japan, Australia, and Singapore. She also explained that Tupperware's international success was due to its range of food storage containers, which were available in various shapes, sizes, and colors. And she mentions in an interview with BBC that initially believed that Tupperware parties were part of an exploitive capitalist conspiracy against women. However, after meeting many women who had benefited from selling Tupperware, she realized that it was empowering for them. The parties made housework more glamorous and gave women an exclusive and social opportunity to build relationships with each other. In 1965, in a fashion magazine, Queen Elizabeth praised Tupperware as the biggest revolution in household consumer goods since the Phoenicians invented glass. Tupperware continued to be successful, and even in 2007, the brand had a strong presence with a Broadway musical based on its origins. The company company was reported to have a large sales in post-Soviet Russia, with many earning over $50,000 a year. And in the 1960s, Tupperware gained a surprising fan, the late Queen Elizabeth, and Queen Elizabeth stated that she stored all her breakfast cereals in the Tupperware containers to keep them fresh, and this was stated by her former chef Darren McGrady. And Tupperware wasn't the only product she owned. He revealed that at Balmoral, the Queen would eat fruit from a plastic yellow Tupperware container, despite people assuming she only dined on gold plates with gold cutlery. Following this royal revelation, retail sales surged by 80%, and that's kind of cute that the Queen ate out of Tupperware. And over time, the direct sales approach has faced challenges with the advent of e-commerce, and firms that depend on a network of individual sellers in local communities have led to reconsider their strategies. I just think going door to door and doing parties is a dying thing now. And because everyone just wants to do it online. To me, I'd rather just buy it online than have to go to a party, but I can see the kind of a vintage appeal to it. In June of last year, the company started selling products on Amazon and then established a collaboration with Target 4 months later to reintroduce their products to store shelves. Despite these new sales channels, it seems that they may not be adequate to rescue the company. According to Professor Gary Mortimer, an expert in business and retail at the Queensland University of Technology, Tupperware has failed to attract younger consumers and also make new innovative products. The brand grew in the mid-20th century by introducing innovative solutions for kitchenware, but has not been able to keep up with the competition in the market. And there are also now many other competitors with similar products available. And he believes that there's only so much innovation that can be done in the food storage category. Tupperware faces tough competition from other brands such as Rubbermaid, Glad, Ziploc, and even reusable containers from fast food delivery services like DoorDash and Grubhub. Yahoo Finance anchor Julie Hyman noted that she prefers to save takeout containers and reuse them. According to Neil Sanders, a retail analyst at Global Data Retail, Tupperware is grappling with several challenges, including a decrease in the number of sellers, a decline in consumer demand for home products, and a failure to appeal to younger customers. And it is true, I feel like Tupperware is probably more of a baby boomer thing. I just can't imagine really young people wanting to do the home parties and buying and selling Tupperware, so they definitely need to attract a younger audience. And according to the expert, the company is facing a challenging situation because of its inability to increase sales, and its asset-tight strategy makes it difficult to raise funds. Previously, Tupperware was known for its innovative and practical kitchen products, but now it seems to have lost its competitive edge. And I did notice the products are quite pricey. You can get similar ones for way less, but I'm assuming the Tupperware is better quality, or there's something to it, or are you just buying the name? The company's financial struggles were revealed in a regulatory filing not too long ago, in which it stated that it was seeking financing to continue its operations. However, it failed to secure the necessary funds. It would not have enough cash to sustain its business. Tupperware was more than just a plastic containers business. It was a cultural phenomenon that changed the way products were sold and how women participated in the consumer economy. From its humble beginnings to the success at the home parties, Tupperware had a lasting impact on American culture. While the company faced challenges and ownership changes over the years, its legacy continues to be felt today. Whether you love or loathe Tupperware, there's no denying its place in the history of American business and consumer culture. And thank you for watching Tupperware, the rise and fall of a plastic empire. Let me know in the comments below. Have you tried Tupperware? Do you like Tupperware? And don't forget to check out my Avon rise and fall video. All right, see you guys again soon. Bye.